Liz, thank you so much. Oh my goodness. If you would like to learn how to tell a story like that, go back into your mother's womb, come out and be Liz. If you'd like to get close to how to tell a story like that, you can take any of Liz's or her compatriots classes at South Mountain Community College. She teaches special limited engagement workshops, and she also teaches full semester classes. And to wrap up our evening, I would like to tell you guys a story about one of my Christmases. Because God knows you don't start storytelling lights because you like to listen to other people talk. With that, it's only funny if you know me. So when I was in the 5th grade, I went to Queen of All Saints Catholic grade school in Michigan City, Indiana, with my twin sister Maureen, and I was spectacularly unpopular. And I was unpopular in a way that if you went to private school, you understand, and if you didn't, you have to take on faith. It doesn't actually have that much to do with like your personality or who you are or like even how you dress, because God knows we're in uniforms, but it's kind of like the luck of the draw. Not to say that I wasn't probably obnoxious bitch, but like I was only 10. So like how bad could I have been? But I knew that I didn't have a lot of friends. I so much didn't have a lot of friends that year that, and this is really true, obviously, and I'm not totally over it. My twin sister and I were invited to Heather Keenan's birthday party, and Maureen was the only one that knew that. So so she comes home and she's like, I got invited to Heather's birthday party and it's a slumber party. And my mom got Mo all ready, and my mom, like, you know, weeks later drives Mo out to Heather's house and stands at the door, and Mrs. Keenan comes to the door and says, "Where's Megan?" And my mom said, "Oh, no, it was just Maureen's invitation. Mo is in class with Heather, and it's okay that Megan wasn't invited. She's in the different 5th grade. And Mrs. Keenan goes, "We would never just invite one of the twins." And my mom is horrified and looks at my twin sister and goes, "Maureen, do you have something you'd like to tell me?" And my sister at that point is not a total castrating bitch, and she buckled because she was only 10. And she was like, she started to cry, and obviously she's like, "Yeah, Megan got invited too, but I didn't want to bring home the invitation." And my mom brought her home and then took me, which I think as a mom at the time felt like the totally appropriate punishment to Maureen and the bonus to me, but really was horrible because like these other bitches liked Mo and they didn't like me. You know what? Because like I was the chosen girl, I wasn't the popular girl in the 5th grade, so it's terrible. Mo was my only ally and she wasn't there. She, in fact, was like crying, guilt-ridden and Catholic at home and resenting me. And I was stuck with these harpies out at Heather's house. But like this little party was still kind of happy to be included. So you can just see how hard 5th grade was for me. And like out of the darkness, I had entered my name into the JCPenney Christmas fashion show drawing. My town was really pretty small, but I got picked, and I felt like it was a freaking sign of God. I felt like the hand of Christ had come down and anointed me a fashion plate, but not just that, but like worthy in some way that is far exceeded just like, you're in a fashion show for 5th graders for JCPenney. I mean, like, 'cause you have no self-awareness in the 5th grade. And I hadn't like quite gotten to consuming women's fashion magazines. My mother is a park ranger, so we didn't like have them around the house. But like I still knew. Have you seen what I am wearing? No, it's really true that we didn't have them around the house. So we had National Geographic, but I still knew that like fashion show was special. And I also knew it was something that my twin sister didn't have, and my little brother didn't have, and my little sister didn't have. And so when it got time for us to go to the JCPenney at the Michigan City Mall, my mom took me, and we were the only people who went, and I got no alone time with my mother, and it was very special. And I was so excited to pick out this outfit that I would wear in the Christmas fashion show at a Catholic grade school. And so I picked out stirrup pants. Also, I don't know if you guys are intimately familiar with the anatomy of like 10-year-old girls, and for most of you, I hope you're not, but if you're a parent, you're but you start really like putting on weight in ways that will only become like relevant later when that weight becomes breasts and hips and maybe an ass if you're lucky. But in the meantime, it's just fat. And like I had definitely started to do that. So stirrup pants seemed like a sensible choice to my mother, because they make your legs tiny triangles. They're very small at the foot and very much bigger at the thigh. But we were gonna cover that up with a Christmas sweater. And so I picked out this amazing Christmas sweater. God, it's blue. And it has like snow, a field of snow at the bottom. It's quite long and large because obviously it has to be much less provocative than the skirt I'm wearing this evening, and it has to come down and cover your thighs and cover your butt and cover your hips and be generous so that you can go to the Christmas Catholic fashion show. And it has a little Santa bear on it, a teddy bear dressed as Santa, and aloft over his head he's holding this present. And I thought it was the most special sweater I had ever seen in my life, and God knows it was one of the most expensive things I'd ever owned. And it had like those puffball pieces of snow on it, like 3D style, and like the big poinsettia in the corner had like the 3 poinsettia berries that were puffball. They were 3D. And I swear to God, you guys, I wore this in the Queen of All Saints Christmas fashion show like I was a white Naomi Campbell, and I was just owning it. Although that's not an appropriate reference. I obviously wouldn't have known who she was when I was 5, or I mean in the 5th grade. But I really worked it, and I was really proud, and it was really, really special to me. And then it was over. And like the sweater we kept, you know, JCPenney donated this, and so we had it in the house, and like that was really the end of it. And I didn't give a lot of thought to it afterwards, but like every year or so afterward, like so we'd do the Christmas family photo, and God knows we didn't go to Olin Mills because we were poor, so we would just like sit on our couch, and my mom would put us in our red and green clothes, and like we'd hold the dog or something like that, and we'd pose together in this outfit, or in our Christmas outfits. And every year my mom would be like, somebody needs to wear the Santa bear sweater. But I mean, no one wanted to wear it because it was like, A, it was Megan's fashion show sweater. So obviously my brother is not putting that on because even though he's only like 4 years older than me, he has a loose idea of gender norms, and he's like, no. Which basically leaves my twin sister and then my much younger little sister. And so, you know, throughout the years, we put the sweater on and we wore it in these family photos. And kind of all was forgotten after a few years because that novelty wears the fuck off. So one year, a few years ago, my brother got married, and the year that his wife came to my family's house for Christmas, he'd been dating her for a long time, but she hadn't actually been an actual family member. She wasn't 100% in. She was hanging out at our house, and my mom said, you know what we should do? We should take a family photo, which is not a crazy thing to think for when you all get together at Christmas. And so, you know, we all get together and like smooth our hair, and, you know, we take off our jammy pants and put on real pants, because like who wears real pants when they're home for Christmas? And my mom comes out, and like we think she's going to get her camera, but my God, that woman got out the Santa bear sweater and she presented it to my brother's new wife. And like I love this because not only is Carolyn this amazing, wonderful, magical unicorn of a woman, but she's also half black and half white, so she doesn't look like a member of my born family, which I think is really kind of funny because we're the most Irish Catholic white people in the history of the universe. We all actually have the same chin. And so that there's just this girl standing there in the same sweater that all of us have been well documented in, and she's just a little, I don't know, tanner than the rest of us. And I love her for wearing it because her family is Baha'i. They don't even have Christmas. They don't even bother with it. They have a whole different set of holidays in which involve fasting, and it's much more difficult and meaningful. And yet she puts up with this shit. So I was really impressed with my brother's wife at that Christmas. But my mom doubled down like 2 years later when my twin sister got married to a man who's like 6'3", handsome, tall, well-built. And Christmas morning, my mom gets out the Santa bear sweater and she gives it to John, and she's like, so you're gonna put this on? I wanna take your picture in it. And now like, I am like, Mom, Maureen has succeeded in wooing and getting John, a man that she was in love with for like 10 years before they ended up together. I was like, do not blow this for her. Like, I get that they're married, but still. And you know what we have in our Femininity Family album is this amazing picture of my sister's husband in jammy pants and the Santa bear sweater, like holding a present above his head, like doing the Santa bear pose. And in that way, I know, right? He's a good sport. He really, really loves my sister. And in that way, this thing that was very special to me as kind of a sad and pathetic 5th grader at Queen of All Saints Catholic Grade School has been turned into this like incredibly funny and wonderful tradition, because my mom had a good sense of what was important when I was little, and she has a really good sense of what's important now, and that is largely what you look like in photos. That is true. You guys do know Stacy. To the tune of, this is how much Susie Finnerty loves you. She spent $32.80 to overnight this. Oh, I will. So I will just wrap up the rest of the show in this. With that, I think we can vote. What?
Holiday pictures.
Oh yeah, well, I'll pose with whoever would like afterward.
Yeah.
This is always what I pictured when I thought I would change clothes and have people clap for me. That was, you guys know me. Okay, with that, I would like to wrap up our storytellers by having you guys vote for the best.